It is looking for some new workers at its Little Village warehouse. An internal investigation found hundreds of team members violated the company's ethics policy. A Block Club Chicago report says it stems from the company's medical loan program. It gave out loans of more than $3,000 to cover expenses. However, a glitch allowed workers to pay just $50 of that loan and get the remaining balance erased. Up to 700 employees may have been fired, with that mistake costing the company roughly $1 million. Target told us there are now measures in place to prevent that from happening again. They've also taken action to make sure there's no disruption to business.
Man, Target just can't catch a break. You know, they had this issue with one of their distribution center warehouses in a community in Chicago called Little Village. And I actually know someone who actually works at this actual warehouse. My wife's cousin is dating a guy who's worked there for a little while, and he gave me kind of the behind the scenes inside scoop. But before I go there, take a look at this other video. They actually had some reporters who actually went out and spoke to some of the employees on site, just so you have a better idea of where this confusion came from.
We all just started getting calls back to back, back to back, back to back.
Fired Target employees who worked at this distribution facility in Little Village are now sharing similar stories.
He just called us and told us that we were being let go for misconduct.
We terminated for uploading fraudulent documents. So I say, if I show proof that my documents aren't fraudulent, will I be able to get my job back? And he was like, no, the termination still stands.
Not all as comfortable as William Pass, showing their faces on camera.
At least let me refute the lies.
He says he did nothing wrong.
Like if I had a hint of it, you think I would have done it? I would risk my job for that?
These three ex-Target workers appear to be a few of as many as hundreds the company fired earlier this month in what Block Club Chicago first reported was a fraud scheme. We've learned the allegations center on the healthcare flexible spending account program at the company, a benefit the employees said they were encouraged to use that allows them around $3,000 pre-tax dollars to spend on medical costs.
So I want you to pay attention to that one data point right there, that this is around an HSA. Many of you who are watching this program, you have an HSA, a health savings account, and you put so much money into your HSA every paycheck, and it's pre-tax, and then you're supposed to use that money for medical expenses. But I want you to just keep that in mind real quick while you watch the rest of this.
I know I was paying the loan back. I got proof of it.
Pass showed us 3 pay stubs that list a $64.81 HFSA deduction each week, totaling more than $2,400 in deductions so far this year. Another employee showed similar deductions.
I literally do it every year. Nothing never happened. So now this year, all of a sudden, this is a fraudulent thing. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now they're out of jobs with little explanation.
This was right before kids was going back to school, so rent, you have bills, everything, back to school shopping, everything. It's just like, what are we going to do?
The women we spoke with say they are now in talks with attorneys to figure out their next steps. Target hasn't publicly shared any details about this alleged fraud, not even the number of employees the company fired over this. But the company does say an internal investigation is what led to the firings. We're live in Little Village.
That's what you're hearing reported by the news, but the person whom I know who works at this actual warehouse, this is what he told me. This is an exclusive to the David Seaton Show. What actually happened was there was a glitch in the system, and it wasn't about the payment, allegedly. Again, this is all allegedly according to the information that I got from someone whom I know works there. What actually was happening is that people were taking this $3,000 that was in their HSA account, and they were spending it on other types of expenses that were non-medical expenses. According to my source who works there, allegedly people were taking this money and buying cars, they were paying off cars, they were paying off credit cards, using this money for non-medical related expenses. So the issue is the glitch in the system, as far as I can ascertain, is not that they were only paying back $50. The glitch in the system was that, according to my source, Allegedly, these individuals were taking money that is supposed to be earmarked specifically for medical expenses, and they were spending the money on non-medical expenses. That's the issue. But it's also important to remember, if you look at the people who were in the actual interview, there's a particular type of demographic who works at this particular warehouse in Little Village. And now you see, and you saw the woman who was on camera who didn't want to show her face saying, hey, we use this money every year and there's never any problem. But I can tell you what happened. Everybody in there, or the people who were, supposedly up to this 700 number of employees who were terminated, somebody tried to use that card, usually because they usually give you a debit card to your HSA account. Somebody tried to use that debit card for a non-medical expense, and then they figured out it went through. And as soon as they hit, well, this is something they call hitting a lick. As soon as they found out that they could do that, it spread throughout the entire warehouse. Every employee now was going out and finding out the same thing. And then people started abusing the actual program. But when you sign up for your HSA account, they tell you on your documentation, you're only supposed to be using this money for medical expenses. That's the entire reason the program exists, because you get to deposit money into your HSA account pre-tax. In some cases, companies will match what you're putting in, and that's what it sounds like happened here. The Target was trying to create this program for the benefit of their employees, and then as soon as someone found a loophole, they all took advantage of it. And then they want to try and pull on your heartstrings and say, oh, well, school is about to start. We didn't know. Yeah, you knew. You knew. And if you didn't know, shame on you for not reading the documentation. Again, this is just a quick update that I wanted to do on this story. I've seen it covered a couple of places, and it just so happens that I know someone who actually works there. The person whom I know, he didn't even, by the time he started finding out that people were getting terminated was about the same time that he found out about the program. And he's saying, man, I'm glad I didn't do what everyone else was doing. But again, it's so much easier to just follow the rules. Just follow the rules, people. If you have $300, if you received, $3,000 in your HSA account, that's for you to pay your deductible when you go see the doctor, or if your kid needs some braces, or if you have to go see a specialist and get a referral and the deductible is a little bit higher, for you to pay for your prescription drugs. It's so much easier to just do things the right way. I don't know why we have this proclivity among some to try and take advantage of a system that's there for your benefit, and then when you get an adverse result, and in this case the adverse result is being terminated, now you want to try and play the victim. Again, people, just do things the right way.